Marcus Aurelius, once the most powerful man in the world, strove to live a virtuous life. Unlike many of his fellow Roman emperors, he avoided indulging in pleasures such as wine and violent spectacles at the Colosseum. Marcus was deeply committed to serving humanity and fulfilling his purpose. To do so, he needed to care less about things that weren't worth valuing. One of the fundamental concepts of Stoicism is the distinction between things we can control and things we can't. Epictetus' manual explains this clearly. Almost everything except our actions is beyond our control, so we must recognize our limited influence over external factors. We burden ourselves unnecessarily if we don't. When we feel hurt, it often means we care too much about things outside our control. By doing so, we allow these external factors to manipulate us as if we were marionettes. We blame the puppeteers for pulling our strings when, in reality, we've allowed them to do so. But if we stop caring about them, they lose power over us. This is what allowed Marcus Aurelius to remain undisturbed by things beyond his control and focus on the challenges he faced as an emperor and the task he believed the gods had assigned him. For Epictetus, this meant freedom. Not being affected by external forces allowed him to focus on meaningful goals and lead a happy, carefree life. So, when life hurts, what should we stop caring about, and how do we do it? In this video, we will explore and interpret Marcus Aurelius' philosophy on caring less about things that aren't worth valuing in his meditations. Marcus emphasizes the importance of distinguishing between the present, past, and future. Marcus offers valuable insights into how we care too much about them or in the wrong ways or about the wrong things. For instance, when it comes to the future, our imagination often runs wild, inventing numerous scenarios that may never come to pass. We think in advance about how to deal with potential outcomes while trembling at the idea of not knowing how the future will unfold. Life is full of surprises, some pleasant and some not so much. We may prepare for something for years, only for it to never happen. We may also receive a diagnosis of a terminal illness that gives us only a few months to live. These possibilities can lead to a lot of worrying, but we can't deal with them as they exist only in our thoughts. The future only bothers us because we think about it, but it doesn't exist outside of our minds. If you're facing a life-threatening illness, don't let it stop you from living today. Cherish every moment of your life, regardless of your circumstances. Put on your best attire and your best shoes and create moments that will be remembered even after your death. Marcus Aurelius said that it's not the weight of the future pressing on us, but how we handle it in the present. The misery of the future occurs in the present. When we care too much about future events, life starts to hurt because we suffer in our imagination, letting it dictate our present. His advice was to never let the future disturb you. You will meet it with the same weapons of reason that arm you against the present. If you can deal with the present, you can handle the future. Focus on the situation you're living in now, and when you concentrate on the present, you realize you can endure it. This attitude is similar to the idea of amor fati, the love of fate. Amor fati is fate strengthened with the confidence that we can endure it. Regarding the past, Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that existence passes quickly and disappears into the infinite beyond our reach. The past, like the future, is a realm in which we cannot operate. What's gone is gone, and unless we invent a time machine, we can't change anything about it. Thus, brief is the life of man, and narrow is the corner of the earth in which he dwells. We often focus excessively on those areas outside the present, the past, and the future. The past may affect the present, but we cannot change it because it is out of our reach. Our memory of it may also be inaccurate, and there is no way to verify what exactly happened. Despite this, we continue to replay past events in our minds, reliving the pain they caused us. While some people believe that thinking about the past gives us some control over it, the truth is that the past is gone, and we cannot control it. Instead, we should focus on our reaction to the past events. We cannot control what happens in the present, but we can control how we position ourselves about these events. According to Marcus, it is not the nature of these events that matters, but how we deal with them. We cannot control past events or present circumstances, but we can control our thoughts and reactions to them. It is an opportunity to practice virtue and apply historical philosophy to our lives. We should focus on what we have, rather than what's lacking. We should not get emotional about what the present presents. How the world around us unfolds is not in our hands, but how we react to it is. We should not resist what we're compelled to do. Accepting circumstances can be difficult, especially when we face significant difficulties. Life sometimes throws lemons at us repeatedly, and we wonder if we can ever catch a break. But for Marcus Aurelius, adversity and life's problems are opportunities to practice virtue. So, the past may influence the present, but we cannot change it. We should focus on our reactions to present events and practice virtue. Life's problems are opportunities to grow and apply historical philosophy to our lives. We should focus on what we have, rather than what we lack, and not get too emotional about present circumstances. Marcus compares people who resist the present with pigs kicking and screaming when they are being sacrificed. He believes that it is pointless to resist the present because we cannot avoid or predict what the future holds. We cannot stop people from fighting wars, natural disasters, or aging. Similarly, we cannot force the world to conform to our desires. We have no guarantee that people we are attracted to will be attracted to us in return, or that all human beings have equal opportunities in life. Often, we feel angry because we don't have what we want and sad because we're faced with things we don't like. This makes the present moment a chamber of torture where we suffer at the mercy of the future. Or, we become so attached to the present moment that we cling to it, fearing to lose what we have. In both cases, we let the future control us. But, we often fail to see what's truly within our control, our choices, actions, and opinions. Marcus Aurelius believed that we should regard the law of nature as our master. If we evade it or feel sorrow or anger towards it, we are no more than deserters and fugitives. We must accept the ways of nature, embrace them, and focus on dealing with them rather than wasting our energy on dissatisfaction or attachment to our circumstances. One way to accept the present is to focus on what we have, not what's missing. We should treat what we don't have as non-existent and appreciate what we do have. We should think about how much we would desire what we have if it were absent. However, we should not get too satisfied that we start overestimating them to the point where we would be upset to lose them. Accepting circumstances can be challenging, especially when we face significant difficulties. Therefore, we should begin with something within our reach and start the change. We should not compare ourselves to others, or look at the future or the past. We should only look at what's in front of us and start simply. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe to Stoic today if the content has been meaningful to your life.